Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today we have a field trip to a local college, so I am wearing a school shirt and I'm trying to cover up the name of my school just to be on the safe side. I'm wearing a white tank top underneath and some black jeans that I got from Old Navy. I'm also wearing these tennis shoes from Tom's that I got the summer before last. So this is what I am going to be wearing on the field trip. I will talk to you on my way to work. All right, I am headed to work. I am leaving. Well, I'm going to get there a little bit earlier. I don't know if I said this, but on Mondays I try and get there a little bit earlier because it's Monday. I know the classroom isn't set up and I need to get there early today because we have a field trip and I have one student who still has not turned in her permission slip for this particular field trip. So I called the mom on Friday before I left to let her know that we were still missing her permission slip. I would have called earlier in the week last week had I not been out so much. Luckily I decided to do one last scan through of all my permission slips and realized that I didn't have hers. So I'm going to call that mom just when I get there just to make sure she remembers to bring in the permission slip or send it into school with her daughter. And this field trip is kind of short. We are supposed to leave, I think, around 8:30, and we should be back by 11:30. We're just taking a quick tour of a local college, and this will be led by one of my co-workers' husbands, so I know that she watches my videos. Her name is Patricia, and her husband is organizing this for us, just to kind of give kids a sense of college life. So on Friday, I told them for homework, I wanted them to come up with 3 questions they had for our leader. I don't want to say his last name. I know his first name is Pedro. 3 questions that they have for Pedro, and just so that they would have something ready if there was a time for them to ask questions. So after our field trip, I am going to try and read the book, or read parts of the book, The Best Part of Me, because this week I am really going to make a very conscientious effort to kind of get the kids to a place where they appreciate who they are as individuals, so that hopefully they will set high expectations for themselves, and that will then transfer over to having high expectations for us as a group working together or as a classroom community. I did order the morning meeting book over the weekend, and hopefully it kind of gives me some tips on how to make this classroom a little bit more cohesive. Like I said last week, I've never had to use something like that before because I've been able to kind of do it on my own, but this particular class I might just have to be more explicit about it, so that's why I ordered this book. And as far as this weekend, I think my cable's fixed, and my internet. So someone came on Friday. He was very professional, handled everything very well, took the time to listen to hear what I had to say in terms of my problems, apologized for the last technician that I had, and was stunned when I told him that last technician told me to just go ahead and look into getting Time Warner cable instead of getting my issues fixed with AT&T. He called me on Saturday to make sure everything was okay, because I told him when he left on Friday I was going to attempt to upload something Friday night, and so by Saturday I would know if it was working or not. So he called me Saturday to double check. Everything worked. My cable, I don't know if I said why I had another technician come out, but last week my internet was fine, but my cable was going out. Like every couple of minutes it would lose its connection and then it would regain connection. So that was why I called. So the cable seems to be working just fine, with the exception of I did have one little blip this morning while I was getting ready, but fingers crossed that this is it. They also gave me a $35 credit on my bill for all the trouble, which to me is not enough for all the hours and time and minute that I've lost just trying to get this fixed. But at this point I'm tired. So after the field trip, after school today, we also have a staff training that will be led by our principal, I'm assuming, and I believe it's going to have something to do with Fontes and Pinnell or guided reading. So this weekend I did a lot of running around. I went to IKEA to buy I don't know if it's a book. I think it's technically considered a bookcase. It's called the Trofast bookcase. And the way they advertise it on IKEA, they kind of talk about it as toy storage for kids. I bought it because I was losing my mind with all the readers that I had in my classroom. So one of the things that we got with Wonders is we have you know, the TEs obviously, but there are a ton of readers. There's like 3 sets of readers for every learning block. So there's 6 units, and every week within that unit is considered a learning block. And within that learning block, there are 3 readers for the 3 different levels of kids that you may have in your classroom. So there were just readers all over the place, on top of books that I have that just haven't been put away. And it was getting to the point where I felt like it was just becoming disorganized. So I bought one of those, put that together, went in yesterday to actually put the books away in that bookcase, and it seems to work just perfectly. So I organized that. I'll try and show you that today. I just did a bunch of running around. So the cleaning lady came on Saturday, so I went to my classroom, did some lesson planning, went to IKEA, went to my parents' house, and yesterday I got a pedicure. What else did I do? Went back to the school to finish organizing the books, got a car wash, just a bunch of errand stuff. And I figured I'm just gonna get all my running around done this weekend, so that this weekend, when the long weekend comes, I can just rest and not have a bunch of errands to do. So that was how I spent my weekend. I did spend some time going to my parents' house also, if I didn't say that. So I am just about at school. Have a great Monday morning. I will check in with you maybe on the field trip. I'm going to try and film a little bit, because I do want to capture some of the field trip for the other YouTube channel that I have for my class, so that parents can kind of feel like they went along with us on this field trip. So I might see you at some point while we're at the field trip, but if not, then I will definitely check in sometime after school. So have a great Monday morning. What notes did you take?
There's a student building, they have meeting rooms, they have food, pizza, subway, they have
Those are important notes, that there's pizza in there.
They have this thing.
Hope you save these notes so that when it's time for you to go to college, you can read your notes. Hello, it's 4:36. I am in my classroom, obviously, and I'm thinking I'm going to be going home pretty soon. The field trip was a success. We got there on time. We met up with their tour guide on time. He did a great job with the kids, and the kids seemed really excited about it. Like, some of them had some good questions. Some of them said they're gonna put this college on their list of places to go. Obviously, that might change when they get closer to the age of going to college, but it really was just to kind of get them in the mindset of it's never too early to think about going to college and where you would like to go. So we got back right at about 12:15, and we literally had enough time to come back, pack up their belongings, go to lunch, and then after lunch they go home, because Mondays are our minimum days. After that, I had a staff training, and we talked about a lot of different things, some about guided reading, some about our assessments and practice assessments we can give the kids, and some Fontes and Pinnell or guided reading resources that we have. So after that, I came to my classroom, sorted through a bunch of paperwork. I had to collect the envelopes. We send our report cards home in envelopes, and then the parents sign the front of the envelope at the first trimester line to acknowledge that they've gotten the report card. So I had to sort through those. I also had to come up with the list for honor roll. I'm showing you the back because I don't want to show student names. This was another thing on the report cards that was a little bit more difficult this time around. Our old report cards used to calculate the GPA for you, but this new system, it didn't calculate it for you, and so someone somewhere in the district had to calculate it and then give you a list. So then we had to wait for that list to give our list to the secretary, so that they would know who to make honor roll certificates for, so that we can then be ready for our assembly on Thursday. So hopefully I can include some of the footage from the field trip. I took a lot of footage, some of it for the other channel that I have, and then some of it hopefully for you guys. And aside from that, not much else happened. I am going to start tomorrow, and I am going to diligently work on building a better classroom community in here. And I think step one of that is just students recognizing who they are, what their strengths are, and then things that they would like to work on. So what I created, and I accidentally threw it away, was a little handout. Since they didn't have homework for math, I created a little handout titled My 5th Grade Commitment, and I basically gave a little blurb saying just what I said on Friday. As long as you set high expectations for yourself, success will be sure to follow. So I asked them to name one commitment, one thing they wanted to commit to setting high expectations for themselves in, and be very specific about that commitment that they're going to make. So I gave them that for homework to fill out, and then my thought is I'm going to have them write that out here on this little thought bubble, and I will display these in the classroom so they are constantly in our faces so that we cannot forget. If nothing else, this is the one thing that we committed to doing as a class. So I'm planning to do that tomorrow, and I'm also going to read The Best Part of Me, which is in here somewhere. I haven't pulled that out, just to kind of give them, you know, give them some time to focus on something that they are confident about and who they are. So what is the best part of you? Is it your eyes? Is it your hands? Whatever the case may be, and kind of just bounce everything off of that. I ordered the morning meeting book, and that should be arriving today at some point. It might even be on my doorstep, so I'm gonna be looking through that. So I am determined to make these changes. The other thing I wanna show you before I leave is I'm gonna show you the bookcase that I bought from IKEA. As you can see, this is also just another set of books that I need to deal with. These are not guided reading books. These are just books that I've either had donated to me, or I bought, or the district is providing, and I need to label them because I do put this sticker on each of my books. So I need to do that with these books here, and I also need to figure out what genre these are so I can put them in the right place in the library. So that's that pile there. Here is the bookcase that I bought from IKEA, and hopefully I can give you a good image. So this was called the Trofast, and I believe the case itself was like $35 or something like that. It wasn't very expensive, but you do have to buy these bins separately. So you can either fit 6 of these shallow bins in here, or you can do 3 shallow bins and then 3 deeper bins, which is what I chose to do. And in here I have put all the readers that go at Wonders. So these are all filled with readers. These are units 1, 2, and 3. These are units 4, 5, and 6. So each unit has a week or 5 weeks within it, and then within each of those weeks are different levels. So these are kids that are not quite where they need to be in terms of their reading ability. These are kids that are right where they need to be, and then these are kids that are beyond that. And there's these sets for every learning block in every unit, which makes for a lot of books. So these books up until then were just sitting in all different places in my classroom, and it was driving me crazy. So I bought that bin for that, which then meant that I could use these crates that I had some of them in. These are all my ELL readers that also came with Wonders. So those were in different places. So right now I kind of like the setup. I think it is going to work. I did a little rearranging of some other things to accommodate for that bookcase being there. But so far I haven't used it. I haven't gotten back there and gotten down in the nitty-gritty of pulling out those readers, but it's not, I know it's not going to be any worse than what it was, because I couldn't stand little piles everywhere. So that's it. It's 4:42. It feels really late because of daylight savings, and I keep thinking it's later than what it is, but 4:42, I'm pretty close to being ready to go. So I'm very proud of myself for that, but I am going to go home and do some more work. I'm going to read that book, and I'm going to try and finish our chapter 5 math quizzes. And I thought I was going to try and edit a little vlog for my classroom channel, but I don't know if that's going to happen tonight. But so that's it. That was my Monday, just another day of me not teaching. But they did learn. They learned about the importance of college, so that is very valuable and very worthwhile. So I will talk to you guys tomorrow morning. Have a great night, and I will see you bright and early. Good morning, here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing this dress that I bought from H&M. I'm pretty sure this was on a clearance rack and I think I maybe paid $10 for it. So I'm wearing this. I'm not sure, every time I put this on, I'm not sure if this is how the sleeves are supposed to go, but I just wear it. So this dress was $10, like I said, from H&M. This belt is from, I think, a shoe store like Baker's or something. I bought separately from this dress. I am wearing these shoes here that I've worn many times before from Macy's, and just this Michael Kors brown band watch. So this is it. I hope you guys have a great morning. Make sure you go out and vote at some point today, and I will see you later. 3. Hello there. It is about 4:20 and school has been out since 2:45, and this is the first time I'm coming back into my classroom, and primarily because I spent a good hour or so just chit-chatting with my friends here at work. While I was doing it, I felt guilty because I know I have things to do, but as I have said before, sometimes you just need some time to just sit and do nothing. So it was about, give or take, 4 or 5 of us at any given point. It was me, the assistant principal, and a couple of teachers that kind of rolled in and out, and we were talking about just school stuff, talking about the dating world and how frustrating that is. So I am now back in my classroom and I am cleaning up for the day because I have little piles of things everywhere. So for example, here's a little pile section here. And so what I wanted to tell you is that I actually did my very first morning meeting today. So I ordered a few books over the weekend. I ordered the morning meeting book, which is kind of like the little one that gives you tips or actually lays them out for you. Let me see if I can find what I got so I can show you in case you were interested in doing it. There's 2 of them. I have a third one. One second. Okay, here it is. So last week's vlog, I was just saying, like, I really need to do a better job of just giving a sense of community in this class. And so I decided to try this out because I've heard about it from several different teachers out there. So I decided to place the order. So I ordered 3 books. I ordered, the first one I ordered, sorry, is this one here, The First 6 Weeks. And this one I probably won't do a whole lot of reading of right now. A part of me feels like I might kind of dive into it a little bit because I might want to treat this new trimester as if it's a new school year. I skimmed through it last night, and I just think right now my time will be better spent kind of really reading the morning meeting book, and maybe look at this a little bit later. But I did order this. If I don't use it now, I'll definitely take a look at it over the summer before the next school year starts. So I ordered that. Then I also ordered the actual morning meeting book that kind of explains the whole premise behind morning meetings, and I read a little bit of this last night. So these little pink tabs are the little things that I looked at and tabbed. And then I ordered this smaller book here, which is just the book that is filled with the actual activities for grades 3 through 6. And in total for all 3 of those things, if you're interested, I got those on Amazon for about $66. I will try and link it in the description below because I think I need to do a better job of linking things if I mention them to you. So I was very determined. So I went to bed at 11 o'clock last night. I went to bed late. I came in and said, I'm just going to go ahead and start today. Sometimes I'm the type of person where I read a lot of things and then I really take a lot of time to process it, and sometimes that means I'm slow to start something, and I just don't have that time right now. So I came in this morning and I started it. So we had our very first morning meeting. Given the fact that I didn't get a whole lot of time to look through those books last night, I think it went pretty well. I was able to get the kids in a full circle because one of the big ideas is that when you have these meetings, they should happen first thing in the morning. They should last about 20 to 30 minutes. It's critical for them to be sitting in a circle so that everybody can be seen and be heard. And initially, I will tell you that I was like, there's no way I'm gonna get my kids in a circle. I have 33 kids. My room arrangement does not allow for that. My room is arranged where I have 8 table groups. I have no carpet area. I've never had a carpet area in a classroom. So I was like, how am I gonna do that? But I decided, let's not start off negative. So I just decided, okay, they're gonna have to physically get up, move chairs. So I very explicitly taught them I modeled for them, explained to them, had another student model the appropriate way to move their chair. We talked about the things they saw me do when I modeled moving the chair appropriately. We talked about the things they did not see me do when I moved my chair because those would have been inappropriate. And then I went ahead and dismissed them kind of one group at a time. So the way that I did it is I have these table groups here. So all of the desks that are on the outside, I had those kids kind of move to where they were gonna be first. So I called those the perimeter seats. Then I had the kids that are kind of like in this middle area. So like these desks here, they were the next round of kids to kind of move and then find a spot, those desks there. And then these two table groups, those were the last kids to move, and that worked pretty well. So, and I explained to them the purpose of the morning meeting, said it really is because we need to work on being more of a community. We talked about what it means to be a part of a community. We talked about what meetings are, what happens at meetings, and we had all of that backstory go on. Then we went to vote, which I took some video of and hopefully I can include it. And then we came back and we had the meeting. So today's meeting, now my morning meeting message on the board was nowhere near as cute as the ones that I've seen out there. I'm not an artist and I was kind of pressed for time this morning. But our morning meeting was based on this homework assignment that I gave yesterday. And I don't remember if I read it to you, but it was basically this form that asked them to come up with one 5th grade commitment that they had, that they were going to make as a 5th grader, and to be very specific about it. What were they gonna commit to doing and set high expectations for to make sure that they actually achieved or stuck to that commitment, I should say. So the morning meeting message said something along the lines of, well, let me back up. So it was based on that, and what I learned in reading the little bit of the morning meeting book is that your message should also relate to some of the content that you're going to teach. So it's, yes, it's a social skills opportunity. Yes, it's time for kids to talk and practice listening and sharing appropriately, but you also want to infuse some of your curriculum in there when and if you can. So we are getting ready to start a new learning block of wonders, and one of the big comprehension skills is identifying a problem and a solution when presented to you in text. So my morning message was basically saying, share with us your 5th grade commitment that you've made. Think of one problem you might face sticking to that commitment and one solution you can come up with to address that particular problem. So that was the question they were posed with. And a few kids shared. I shared my commitment as a 5th grade teacher, so they can kind of know where I'm coming from, and then some students shared their thoughts and ideas, and they did a pretty good job. I think the first one, some of the kids were shy and reluctant to speak. I will probably use this as a very light grading opportunity. I don't like to grade things like this, but we do grade in listening and speaking, and I feel like this is the perfect opportunity for that. They will get a grade for being appropriate listeners, as well as a grade for sharing and speaking, so I kind of let them know that. So I think it went okay. I didn't really get a chance to ask them how they felt, but I will tomorrow. So I'm proud of myself for that. And then what okay. I just finished voting. And if I sound a little winded, it's because the polling place is very close to my house. And it's at a local elementary school. And when I came to vote for the primaries, you went to the cafeteria and you voted, which is where I parked. But they were having an activity there, and so the voting at the school site was actually in a classroom that was clear on the other side of the campus. So it's dark in my car, but I did want to check in with you to let you know I officially voted. I hope you all did the same. I know this has been a very tumultuous election process, more than normal. So either way, no matter who you vote for, it's just important to do because it's a right that not everybody has. And I do subscribe to the belief if you don't vote, then you can't complain. So it's a right that not everybody has. It's a right that people fought for and died for. So we need to make sure that we take advantage of that. So I will probably be glued to the TV tonight because I'm very curious to see how this pans out. It's a little nerve-wracking, but I just want to check in, let you know that I voted, and I rocked the vote. You guys remember that from the 90s? I rocked the vote. So have a good night. I will see you guys tomorrow morning, and yeah, good night. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I'm wearing 2 pieces of clothing that I've worn already once this year, but this is just an example of how I switch things around so that it looks like I'm wearing new things, but I'm really not. So these pants were clearance items that I bought from Old Navy this summer. This is a top that I wore a few weeks ago. It's also from Old Navy. This necklace is from Old Navy. And then I'm wearing these shoes that were from like an independent shop at our local mall. So this is it. So this is for my friends that think I have a ton of clothes. I really don't. I just am moving things around so that things appear new, or that outfits appear new. So this is it. I will talk to you guys a little bit later. It's about 7:39. I'm on my way to work, and I contemplated not saying anything in relation to the election results last night, but I just feel like I kind of have to, just to get some things off my chest, or really one thing off my chest. I'm not going to say who I voted for, but I'm sure once I finish saying what I have to say, you will kind of figure it out. And if I were to frame last night's election results in my teaching life, how does this apply to me as a teacher? Do these election results have any effect on what I choose to do as a teacher? What I will say is the results of last night's election just tell me that I need to continue to recognize the importance of teaching human decency to my students. What does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be a confident person yet a humble person? What does it mean to be a confident person yet a person that is tolerant of people who are different from you and people who may not always agree with you? And so I will say that I am a little disappointed with how things played out. I know neither one of the candidates were perfect. They both came with their own set of issues. But I feel like if you are the leader of the country that I'm living in, I have to be able to look at you and have a certain level of respect for you and recognize a certain level of human decency in you. And I, at this moment, am not feeling that way about the person that won. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe things will change, and maybe I will see a side of him that I don't know exists, or I didn't know existed. But as of right now, from what I've seen, not in just this political process, but just in general, it's going to be a challenge for me to look at our president and feel good about the person that I'm looking at. So I decided to share that little tidbit with you because it is something that I think about now as I go into my classroom, because I have 5th graders and they're very aware, and I live in California, which is a very democratic state, and there's a good chance that one of my students is going to say something to me or ask me something about last night, or say something to one of their classmates. So I have to be prepared for that, and that will kind of just be something I need to be prepared to deal with. I obviously won't tell them one way or the other what they should be saying or thinking, but I just thought I'd share my reactions to it because it will affect me as a teacher, because I know my students are going to be saying something about it. And then what else did I want to say? And so yesterday we had our mock results at school, and at our school Hillary Clinton won by 69%, which is a pretty large margin. And to a certain extent, it still is a microcosm, because our classrooms, or our school's results, did reflect this state, but our school's results clearly did not reflect what happened in the country last night. So it is done. We have 4 years to kind of pull ourselves back together. I don't know what that's going to look like, but I'm going to have to pray and hope that that does happen. So I just want to say that because I'm not really sure what my disposition is going to be at school today, because I really am a little stunned. I have a lot of emotions. I'm stunned, I'm shocked, I'm hurt, I'm disappointed, I'm nervous, I'm anxious, I'm a lot of different things. So I already know this morning was rough. Like it is affecting me. So I just thought I'd share, just in case I seem a little off today. But aside from that, have a great morning, everyone, and I will talk to you later today. Bye-bye. I just got to school and I wanted to clarify. I just want to say, if you voted for Trump, no disrespect if you took it that way, I didn't mean that, but I just wanted to clear that up. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody has the right to vote for who they want, but I was just expressing what my heart feels right now. So I hope you didn't take offense. So that was all I wanted to say. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later. my PLC meeting with my teammates. We started earlier today during our prep period, and then we had to stop because we had to pick up the kids, and then we wanted to finish, so we met after school and we just finished up. So we were talking about how well our kids are doing with our writing goal, where they are writing a narrative. Writing a narrative using sources. So we randomly selected 5 students whose papers we would read and grade together and discuss them as a team. And overall, there were some positives. One positive is that they definitely are getting better with knowing how to include a source into their writing. So everyone, or every sample paper that we read, they included some piece of information from one of the 3 sources, and they did so appropriately given the fact that this was a narrative. So they didn't reference the source as if they were writing an informative piece or an opinion piece. So that was good. We did notice some improvement in them understanding what story structure needs to look like and what should be included in a story. So that was also good. So that tells us that the teaching that we did pay off in some ways. We still have some work to do because they still need to be better about just having a more developed story, a story that is very clear, has a clear beginning, has a clear middle, has a clear end, grammar issues, so with capitalizing, verb tenses and things like that. And just being a little bit more detailed with using their source. So a lot of kids included information from the source, but it was very vague. Like, you recognized what source they were using, but they didn't go into detail with using it. So we want them to get better about that. So right now I am going to try and go get myself together to go home because I'm tired. I've had a headache for a while. And it's kind of been a rough day just from settling down from the election and everything. So I'm gonna clean up my room. I'm gonna head home and try and relax a little bit. And that's really it. I don't really have a lot to say today. I didn't really do much. So I guess I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I hope you guys had a great day, and I will see you in the morning unless I get inspired to say something else or something else crosses my mind. Bye. Good morning. Here's my outfit of the day. Today I have pulled out an oldie but goodie. This dress came from H&M. I've had it for several years, and it's one of those dresses that I forget is in there. I pulled this out this morning because I needed something that did not need to be ironed, so this was it. I am wearing it with these black sandals that I got from Nordstrom. Those are also old. I've broken straps on these a couple of times and taken them to Nordstrom and just had them repair them. And I am wearing this black watch that is a Marc Jacobs watch, and it's a watch that I often forget that I have, so I don't really wear it that often. But that's it. This is what I'm wearing today. I will talk to you guys later. It is about 5:15. I am wrapping up for the day. I'm just going to get something out of the printer, room 24, because I am behind on this project that I was supposed to complete for our school library. And basically all the teachers were asked to think about their favorite childhood book, and then write why it was our favorite childhood book, and then draw an image of that book and turn it in. And then the librarian, she would, one moment. Then the librarian hangs them on the walls in the library. So I think I'm probably the one teacher who hasn't finished that yet. Not that I didn't want to do it, it's just that in the grand scheme of things, that was kind of low on my priority list, and I feel bad because I have this one student who keeps asking me if I have done mine yet, and I said no. And so I want to put it up there because I feel like this girl is very curious to hear what my favorite book is. So I need to get that done. So I'm just gonna work on getting that done really quick, and then I'm gonna go home. I just wanna get it out of my hair, get it done, and then I'm gonna head out. As far as this weekend, I told myself I was not gonna be doing any work. However, one second. However, I lied because I am taking some things home. Not a lot, it's not heavy duty work. I've already lesson planned for next week. And I know there's some people out there that have asked me to do or talk about how I lesson plan, and I just haven't figured out how exactly to show that because I don't have this very fancy, sophisticated system. Some of the planning that I do is just already predetermined, like the pacing of math, there's not a lot to that. And then language arts is kind of, it's sporadic kind of right now in the way that I plan, but I will try and do that at some point. But here is the stuff that I'm taking home. I'm taking this bin of stuff home. Most of this is stuff that needs to be recorded. There's a couple of things in there that need to be graded. That is my bag, and notice that this is not in there, and that is because I have decided that I do in fact need a bigger bag. Like, that's just the truth. I need a bigger bag, plus the straps on that bag really do bother me, so I just a couple days ago placed an order for a new 31 bag. Plus I just kind of wanted a new bag. So that's what I'm taking home. This is what I'm gonna choose as my favorite book from childhood. I loved Sweet Valley Twins so very much. So that's what I'm choosing. I don't have any big plans for the long weekend aside from just relishing in the fact that I can sleep in. And I am taking work home, but I'm gonna try and just get it done in a very slow and progressive manner. Because I feel like if I don't do some of these things, it's just gonna come back to haunt me next week. And Thanksgiving break is right around the corner. And maybe Thanksgiving break, I'll actually be able to take some time and just not do any work. But I don't think this weekend will be super work heavy. I just have things I need to do, so. And I also feel like I haven't really talked or vlogged much this week because, I don't know, I could be wrong. So, yeah, after I do this, I'm just gonna go home. I might try and edit some footage that I took of our field trip for my classroom's vlog just to kind of see how that goes. And then from there, I'm not really sure. I might just give myself a break for the evening and not do anything at all. Plus, I do need to cook, so I don't really know what else to say. So I hope you guys have a great long weekend. I hope that your week went well. If you liked the video, please do give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already done so. And I think that's it. Nothing exciting happened today. My mom came, she helped, my dad came. Oh, I did have my dad come in and because he was doing his watchdog duties today. So he came into my class and I did have him give my class a little bit of a speech because today was just probably one of the most bumpy rides in this classroom, just in terms of I felt like nothing really went smoothly. We weren't really efficient in how we used our time. Plus we lost time this morning because we had an honor roll assembly, so that took about 30 to 45 minutes. The math lesson was a tough one just in terms of what the content of the lesson was. It was a problem-solving lesson where they had to work backwards to solve a problem, and then kids just weren't getting it, and then there were interruptions with just behaviors and phone calls and people knocking at the door. So it was a rough go. My small group time didn't go the way I would have liked. None of the kids really seemed like they were focused while they were in the group. I had to stop teaching my group because I had some behavior issues going on in class with the same individuals that I'm usually having to speak to. And so it was just one of those days where you're up there teaching in front of the classroom and you're like, this day is just not working out the way I thought it was going to work out, and I can't wait for it to be over. I felt that way throughout the majority of the day because it just was not smooth sailing here in room 27. So I had my dad talk to the class because I really wanted, like, the boys that I'm struggling with in terms of their behavior, my thought process was like, maybe they just need to hear a man's voice say some of the things that I'm saying. So he gave them a whole speech on the art of listening and how that's one of the most important things you can learn and do in life, because that's a lot to do with some of my behavior issues. They just don't follow directions, they aren't listening. Even the kids that aren't quote-unquote behavior issues, like the amount of times I'm repeating myself in class is like unreal. And I know that's not just me, I know that's like every teacher's struggle, but sometimes I'm just like stunned that I literally just said something that was very simple and easy and clear, and then within 30 seconds someone's asking me the very question I just answered, and it is so frustrating sometimes because there's so much to be done and you don't even have time. You really just don't have time to be repeating yourself all day. So he spoke to them, gave them a quote, told them to write it down, and some of them did. Told them to put it somewhere where they would always remember it, and I think some of them did. So he did that today, and then that's really it. Just a rough day. Perfect reason to enjoy a long 3-day weekend. So I'm gonna head home. I'm gonna go home and cook. I'll probably do some work, sit on the couch, relax. I don't know. Who knows what I'm gonna do. I don't have any big plans for the long weekend, like I said. So anyway, I hope that you guys had a great day and that your day was much smoother than mine. I will talk to you guys on Monday. Have a great one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Look at Liza pretending like she's working. What time is it? It's noon.
It's noon. It's lunchtime.
We're at lunch.
We're not eating.
We didn't go out to eat with the rest of our team. Cindy went out to eat. The 4th grade teachers went out to eat. The principal went out to eat to have Thai food for the first time
Ever.
And you know what we did? We stayed here and ate a salad and some leftovers. Because I need to finish my report. No, I'm not gonna finish them. I need to continue to work on my report card.